Well, we are back, and now we have Chuck Joy.
Hello, Robert.
Of Erie, Pennsylvania, and he came a long way to be here, in a very roundabout way too. I think Buffalo was involved.
Yes, it was. And Amtrak. And Ellis Island.
Let's see. And let's see. I'm trying to figure this this resume here. Where were you born?
Cleveland.
Cleveland,
West Cleveland.
And then came out to Erie, where the real action was.
Yes, within the first year of life.
He was an early bloomer, he could tell. Let's see. And in fact, his first story when he was just a little shaver was called The Bloom in the Bloom,
That's
according
right.
to this.
As far as I can remember.
Let's see. And in high school, you won the Gold Key for English.
Yes, I did.
Not the comic book, I take it.
No, it was an actual key.
Did it do any good?
No, I forgot about it for many years, and I only recalled it recently.
Maybe somebody used it to open a can, and then
Misplaced it.
And then we went on from there. Let's see. Then came to New York and went to Fordham University.
That's right.
And what did you study?
Sociology. People in groups.
Let's see. According to this, you were taking pre-med from Henry Miller.
Well, I wish. As it turns out, yes. No, then later on I took some pre-med courses. That was sort of after I read Henry Miller.
Right. Henry Miller, of course, was big on gynecology issues.
Yeah.
As I'm quite sure we're all aware of. And then you took up a psychiatry residency.
Yes, later on. That's right. Warren State Hospital.
Now, where is that?
It's in Warren, Pennsylvania, northwestern Pennsylvania.
Now, I must say that since you finished up as a psychiatrist.
Yes, I did.
Now,
11 years ago.
that's something of a novelty for our show because most of our guests are on the other end of the transaction in such a case. Oh, dear.
Well,
and then
not the host, though.
Then you never know. then you took up writing and got into the West Virginia Medical Journal.
Yes.
For poetry.
Yes. I saw a whole series of them.
I'll be darned. And he found his way to medicinal purposes.
Yes.
And he's here now. So how about a poem then?
Well, how about one from a recent trip to Italy? Called Artist at Work. What she does is take pictures of the sky. She sees things there, a heart, Manhattan Island. Sometimes she sees the clouds for what they are, just wisps of moisture, meaningless, like breaths. She likes those ones best. Artist at Work.
You know, when I see things in the sky,
Yes.
I duck into the nearest bar, like the Orange Bear, which is where we're filming. Was this out of your imagination, or was this an actual patient, or am I violating some ethical construct by asking that?
It's an actual woman, not a patient, but a person, a woman named Dawn, whose art is to take pictures of clouds.
Did the clouds pose?
I'm not sure what to say about that. Yes or no?
I know you've got a poem in there about your work.
Yes, I do.
Why don't we hit them with that?
All right. It's actually called Gregory's Mother, and it's not exactly about my work, but it's about similar work, a child psychiatrist. And of course, it's on the bottom. But here it is, Gregory's Mother. While Gregory's father was writing her check, Gregory's child psychiatrist was busy remembering how excessively controlling she had herself been that very Wednesday morning with her own Gregory. What's wrong with me, she wondered, Gregory? Usually I have a sense of humor, and usually I don't hesitate to ask my husband for help. It must serve a terrible purpose for me to lose my temper. But the little Gregory in front of her did not answer, and she realized that he was the wrong Gregory for her to be talking to anyway. Maybe it's important, she started thinking, for me to struggle with the same powerful forces that you do, Gregory, and your dad too. and she thanked him for paying her fee. Gregory's mother.
Exactly how many Gregorys are we dealing with here?
Several Gregorys.
It would seem.
I think there's at least 2, actually. Only 2. And then there's another Gregory, but 2 in the poem.
Where else have you been besides Italy?
Well, I was on the train 286 from Buffalo to Penn Station, and I wrote this. Would you like to hear it?
Sure, why not?
This was just a couple days ago. It's very short. It's called Purple. I hope the train will be as purple as that tree, but it might not be. Purple.
This must have been a red eye.
Well, we had to get up early.
Wait a minute, are we filching stationery from the trains now?
No, that's filched from the hotel.
Oh.
The Best Western Manhattan. I can recommend it, except the TV. We couldn't access the movies, but that was only a small problem. It was really very nice.
They were probably dirty movies anyway. How about another poem?
All right, this one is called For Veronica, and it's dedicated to my youngest, oldest, and middle daughter. When I was little like you, honey, I used to be a cowboy, riding a Palomino pony through Red Rock country. Blue sky, white clouds, brown creek, between green trees, the cottonwoods. Clip, clop, clop, clip, clop. There were terrific rocks around to add to my collection. I parked prints, climbed off, and started looking. Some were plain, but I still liked them. None of this was any problem. I had plenty of time and nobody making impatient suggestions. I made the necessary decisions by myself. The black ones with the golden flecks, though, were the best. I couldn't stop. I didn't want to. Slick sides smooth like ice. My fingers found them in the water, and they got better as they got drier. I liked to play with them. They felt perfect. And I followed that feeling like a trail up the river, filling my pockets with stones like a page filled with words. Now go to sleep. For Veronica.
Can I bring the horse with me?
You can take the horse that you rode in on, Bob.
I'm not sure whether that's actually complimentary.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be. It was just, how it is when you.
What do you think, Kate? Or have you been plotting sonatas for the clouds on the violin there?
I think it's wonderful poems.
Yeah, they are actually. Have you actually fulfilled your boyhood ambitions with this?
No, I'm still on the way to fulfilling my boyhood ambitions.
What are you looking for?
Probably more travel, more writing, more time writing. I don't know if that was a boyhood ambition. It's more of an adult ambition.
Let's see. I see you got into Ratapalax as well.
Yes, I'm very pleased and privileged too.
And metaphors. Are there any magazines that you're dying to conquer but haven't?
Well, there's a magazine in Pittsburgh called Lilliput Review. Perhaps you've heard of it.
Yeah, actually, I've been in it.
Yes. Well, I'm dying to get in there. Maybe you can help me.
It's all right. Everybody in Pittsburgh, pay attention. It's about this big, and they print epics. No, actually, if you can keep them down to 4 lines or fewer. Yes, Thomas is jumping up and down saying he's been in it too.
Yes, well, see, I just want to join. Have you been in it, Kate?
No, and
wouldn't you like to be?
It sounds great.
Unfortunately, sonnets are a little long for that magazine. It's actually a lot of fun. What else would you like to add out of the cornucopia here?
Well, how about Poetry Is? This one was partly written while I was driving.
Okay, we'll take a chance.
A satisfying series of solutions to problems and puzzles set by the poet and performed by him or her for everybody else to see. Poetry is algebra. Poetry is rhythm, beaten with sharp pens against the bloody drums of parenthood and death and marriage, success and alcohol and education. Poetry is yelling. Poetry is love, and being in love with all the classical elements of perfection. Poetry is structure. Poetry is navigation, piloting a red Chrysler Cirrus across the page and into another dimension. Poetry is courage. Poetry is fiction, telling stories made from life, except without the paragraphs. Poetry is words.
And it's also become a lousy way to pick up the gender of your choice. Let me see. You wrote that. You wrote that while you were driving?
Yes, and I was thinking about. I write fiction as well as poetry, and the sort of hand gesture here, the borderline between fiction and poetry is a tough place to navigate. Prose and poetry.
Where were you driving exactly?
Well, in your neighborhood, I think I was.
No wonder my insurance rates are so high.
Well, no, it's a skill. I mean, I don't know if I'm proud of it. Probably I shouldn't be talking about it on national TV, but it's. I mean, I'm just being honest. I'm real careful. Real careful. I pull over if it's more than a word or two. I mean, what are you supposed to do? It's.
I once wrote a poem while I was deep sea diving, and I wrote it on the back of a shark, and it was great. He bit himself instead of me to get the poem off. That's how I saved my own life.
Quick thinking.
Yes, it was. Do you have a quick poem for us?
Yes, I'm sure I do. I have to page through all this, though.
Yeah, that's okay. Something for the road.
Something for the road. Well, how about that? Is that?
Yeah,
would that work? This is called What's New?
Yeah.
Little Kenny's thinking, maybe I should change my favorite color. I've been watching him, and so I know. It had already been green, no red. It had been red, and had been ever since he could remember, having one. Like his sister, hers was purple. He took another mouthful of his cereal. He never thought he'd think something like this. Wait till I tell Seamus, he almost said, but then he remembered why red had become his favorite color anyway. And so he looked at me, his best friend, and he said, Daddy, I still like red, but would it be okay if now I liked black more? And I said, sure, but I was thinking, oh, stay this way forever, little Kenny.
If he ends up on the poetry circuit, he will, but instead of swapping favorite colors every 5 minutes, he'll be swapping favorite poets. Kate, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color? I can ask who's my favorite poet.
Surprise!
I don't know.
Well, the red is nice.
Oh,
You
thanks.
tend to lose track of things like that
I
as the
know,
years
it's not
pile
as
up.
easy to.
Right.
Or the rosewood of the violin, perhaps.
Yeah, I do like black.
Or the paleness of the rose. And, well, Chuck, if you keep on writing like that, you might end up being your own best patient.
Well, that would be good.
But the way things are going, I will probably end up being your best patient.
You're a good patient, Robert.
Yes, well, we'll see about that. And there's plenty of time after the show to discuss it. And with that in mind, I want to thank you, Chuck Joy, for coming all the way out.
You're very welcome.
From Erie, Pennsylvania, to be on Poet to Poet. And thank you, Kate Light, for that devilish trip from the Upper West Side to be here. And thanks once again to the Orange Bear for letting us come in and do this. And we will see you soon.